Alright, first off, for Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan, we have the Bamboozle Moth, Judgment, powered by Merwin, Lumberjack Quacha, and the heavy slots, powered with a Gatling mortar. Their ally is GFA Docidicus, Stormbreaker, Banshee Quacha, Gatling Banshee. Their opponents, Fancy Cloud Dancers, bringing the Fancy Hydra, Mercury Dual Artemis Mobula with Gatling and Hades, triple piercing, and their ally, the Rontonkin. Gatling Quacha, Banshee, all the guns immediately just, oh, well, goodbye. Docidicus getting the better of that engagement, apparently. And now Fancy Hydra here, stranded in center map. They're certainly not going to be able to escape, as Docidicus moves in with the Gatling and the Quacha. Big damage on the Mobula, and already 2 points on the board for Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. Triple L here looking to finish what they weren't quite able to close out last week. We saw Triple L versus FCD in the grand finals of the tournament. Triple L able to capitalize on a few piloting mistakes from FCD in those finals on Clash of Blackcliff. To take the first game, but unfortunately losing in the follow-up game that was played on Canyon Ambush. So, second place last week, certainly hoping for first place, I'm sure. I have too many cables. Fancy Hydra. Close spawn here, separating the red team. Bamboozle Moth in between the Rontonkin and the Fancy Hydra. This is going to be big damage from FCD. If Docidicus is unable to dissuade the blue Mobula, they've got to kick it into gear. There comes Quacha Barrage, but Quacha on the rear of Mobula, not going to do a whole lot. Only takes down one engine. Bamboozle Moth losing their armor. Big damage from the Rontonkin. Double Banshee Quacha. 80% permahull in one clip against a Judgment. Judgment is a tanky ship. Stormbreaker just does so much damage. And they're totally disabled. Their balloon is down. Docidicus is playing this really safe. I wonder if they've already given up on their ally. I believe they have. Red Stormbreaker not fully committing to the fight, but they might die anyways. Armor break already. 40% permahull left. They're backing away. And you see a little bit more moonshine here. I think if they want to actually be able to fully disengage. And that is one of the aspects of this new Stormbreaker metagame that we're playing in, is that because the Stormbreaker is an excellent follow-up kill ship, it can chase a target across the entire map. So with Stormbreakers on pretty much every team, it's become very difficult to actually get that full disengagement once your ally goes down. We're seeing a lot of 2-0, 2-1 fights. There's really no safe place to be, but Docidicus does survive, albeit at low health. Bamboozle Moth has spawned back in. This will be a little bit tough because low health Stormbreaker is definitely a liability. And big fire stacks. Whole armor going to burn down. 3 guns down. Docidicus being forced to stay behind cover. And we see some Lumberjack shots coming out from red spawn. And I think Rontonkin's going to go deal with that Judgment. And with the Rontonkin away, Docidicus has come to play, but Fancy Hydra already turning the Artemis to the Docidicus, but hitting the non-gun side as Rontonkin now comes back. Look how fast the Stormbreaker is just able to move from target to target, point to point. There goes Red Stormbreaker. The match is now tied up. It's almost like the positioning of the Stormbreaker doesn't matter. It's a ship that's almost impossible to bait because even you saw Rontonkin, they moved a full 500 meters towards the Bamboozle Moth, but even from that forward position, they could just, it was half a second, they can moonshine backwards, get back to their allies. So the pairing of a Stormbreaker with a slower, slower ship with longer range weapons, we've been seeing a lot of that because the Stormbreaker's just kind of good at everything, really, except long range play. But it's a ship that's very good at in addition to chasing down targets, is a ship that's very good at protecting an ally, which is how FCD is playing this. Legio Lepidoptera is playing it a little bit differently, using the Dosidicus as kind of a distraction tactic, trying to execute a pincer maneuver, hitting FCD from two sides, but that is not working, because the Ron Tonkin is just able to defend it in every situation. And already Bamboozle Moth taking a lot of damage, 20% permahull, 2 engines, 4 guns down, balloon is low. Like, the Dosidicus is definitely just not being threatening enough here. FCD is, for the most part of this entire match, just been dual focusing the Judgment. But finally Dosidicus is moving in, losing their whole armor. Ron Tonkin's backed up to dual focus. They're already dead. And now Bamboozle Moth still spotted. So blue team knows exactly where the Red Judgment is. And this is going to be a very difficult position to escape from. So it looks like they're just going to try to use the defensive cover of the map to survive long enough for their ally to respawn, or they're stuck. This is either a tactical advantage, a tactical strategy, or they're having difficulty piloting out of the alleyway here. But Dosidicus is taking a close spawn, already engaging on the Fancy Hydra. They've got the rear. Fancy Hydra is not going to be able to turn around. Big damage. Fancy Hydra bumps against the Dosidicus, loses almost all of their permahull. Dosidicus, no, this is bad. You can't turn on the Ron Tonkin. They need the follow-up kill on the Mobula. If the Mobula survives, the Bamboozle Moth is going to die. And now Ron Tonkin's moving. Fancy Hydra's trying to get away from the Red Stormbreaker, doing what they can. I think they're going to die to the Dosidicus, and they do before they're able to get the armor break on the Red Judgment. And now Ron Tonkin, an advantageous situation for Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan. And we'll see if the Blue Stormbreaker is able to escape. We've seen in previous fights where the Red Stormbreaker got chased down by the Blue and died, and we'll see if Ron Tonkin can do a better job disengaging. It looks like so far they are. And Fancy Hydra has spawned in already. We have long-range guns. Probably on the Bamboozle Moth. The Red Judgment already in 3rd stage of damage, so that's going to be the likely target for FCD when they get the chance. Some preliminary shots onto the Dosidicus. Also, not seeing a lot of balloon pops here from the Lumberjack on the Bamboozle Moth. Shots kind of flying over the ship. There's one. Fancy Hydra's balloon is at half. Ron Tonkin now moving in, but Dosidicus is there to assist our ally. What they hit the oh no. Dude, this the death of the Stormbreaker. The ship is OP as hell, but if it touches any building on the map, it just dies immediately. And almost sort of a very reminiscent of last week's finals. Stormbreaker hits to terrain, dies, throws the fight, and then the game is over. FCD winning 5-3. They will be moving on to the winners finals. And Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan will be seeing a little bit later in the tournament.